Greetings again, everybody, and welcome to the end of Dark Souls 2. Yep, that's right, we're gonna end the main game today. And our destination is just down there through that King's Gate, which we're gonna open, as usual, with the King's Ring. So, what do you think will be the final boss? Because first time I came down here, I really didn't have much of an idea what it'll be. And it may be something that you're already expecting. It's not like the game makes a big secret of it. In fact, I believe we're gonna get a little bit of a hint, or rather, someone's gonna tell us flat out right about now.
My journey is already complete. My name is Shanalot. The dragon gave me this name, for I was born with none. I was born of dragons, contrived by men. By ones who would cozen fate herself. They are the ones who created me. But they failed. I did not come out as intended. Fate would not be bested, and men were cursed once again. If you proceed, Nashandra will come after you. Knowing that you will take the throne and link the fire. She covets the first flame and the great soul. Put Nashandra to rest.
So, it's gonna be Nashandra. But yeah, what Shanalot here just said is that she's been born of dragons. My first assumption was that she's been created as a firekeeper by Aldia. But as far as I'm aware, Aldia only started experimenting stuff with dragons and the likes once the curse was already like rampant everywhere, because Shanalot told us that the curse only appeared afterwards. And Aldia really just started fighting the curse once it's there, obviously, by kind of not taking it out by its root, but by fighting the symptoms. He wanted some kind of immortality, or dragon immortality, I suppose. Meanwhile, Vendrick wanted to do it a different way, but neither of them really succeeded, except Aldia kind of did, because he did create a dragon, even though he was made of a giant soul. Now, for this upcoming fight, we can summon Vengarl and Benhart. We could also summon Vengarl for the Ancient Dragon, by the way, it just never occurred to me. Now this is obviously not the final boss because it's not Nashandra. This is something, well, those are people who are watching the throne and defending it, as we can tell from their names, which pretty much only describe what they do. I am not 100% sure what the deal with them is exactly, but it would be kind of logical to assume that they are kind of knights that were employed by Vendrick to just hang out here and make sure that Nashandra never reaches the throne. Because Vendrick really wanted to prevent that. And it is Nashandra's goal for us to, I don't know, do whatever she wants to do with the throne, or rather she wants to take the throne for herself. But anyway, this fight can be pretty difficult. You see me kind of making it easier by using ranged attacks. Resonant Soul is a really powerful spell. Much more efficient than Great Resonant Soul or hell, Climax. You would basically fight those two guys the same way with melee weapons as I do right now with ranged weapons, or other spells in this case. Only you'd have to get a little more closer. That way, I have a little more safety, so to speak. I do this because I kind of have a self-imposed challenge whenever I do this, which is to beat this boss and the final boss in one go. There's a little more of a gimmick to Defender and Watcher too. There's not necessarily a reason for me keeping their health about even, but keeping it even can help a lot. Because if you kill one, there's a pretty good chance that the second one will just walk up to their corpse, or rather they're kind of kneeling actually, and revive them with full health. So it's a good idea to keep them about equal, but you have enough time to damage them if they try to revive their buddy. Even if they're in the process of doing it, you can still kill them before they do anything bad. And of course, once at about half health, they will both buff their weapons. This basically only means that they now do more damage to you. You don't really need to worry about any new attacks, there aren't any as far as I'm aware. But one of the biggest opponents in this fight is not the Watcher and not the Defender, it's the arena. I mean, it's a wide open space, no problem here. You can dodge around and move, but it's deceptive because, you see, there are no walls. Just, well, big fat hole to fall down into. And that's obviously where the problem lies, because if you feel too safe and you backpedal a lot, you just might fall into that hole. That happened to me at some point. But I've wisened up ever since and it hasn't happened again. It's just really something that you need to keep in mind. But there we go. Watcher and Defender are now gone. And we get both their souls, helpfully enough. We were actually using the Defender shield a lot in New Game Plus Plus.
Grave undead, you have proven yourself to me. Now, be one with the dark.
Alright, she looks very different from last time we saw her. And you know, when I heard those piano notes at the beginning, I was kinda hoping that it would be a song like Gwyn's theme from Dark Souls, but the piano piece is just a little bit of an intro. Now we have this epic, dramatic choir singing for us. But Nashandra herself is not too hard of a fight. The most dangerous part of it is actually those cursed orbs that you could see, those black things that are just hanging out someplace. She will occasionally just create new ones, but you can destroy them. There's no real tell for you doing aside from them disappearing, but if you walk onto them and just attack them, they will disappear. Other than that, as you can see, she's fairly straightforward. If you fight her at a range, which is perfectly valid, that laser is pretty easy to dodge too. First time I did it, I think I did it ranged. But other than that, really, she's done already. She's disappointingly easy. People say Souls games in general have easy bosses, but you know, Gwyn isn't really easy. He's a pretty intense and fun fight if you don't parry him. Anyway, since that went so quick. We're just gonna, use an effigy because we want to look our best for the ending. Now, since we have some time left, let's just check out some of those bloodstains to see how other people fared against Nashandra and the Watcher and Defender. We can't really see which of the two they were fighting, sadly, but they were fighting someone. Well, let's head to the throne.
You who link the fire. You who bear the curse. Once the fire is linked, souls will flourish anew, and all of this will play out again. It is your choice to embrace or renounce this. Great Sovereign, take your throne. What lies ahead, only you can see.
Alright, my count may be a little bit off, but I think we just went through 27 unique areas, slayed countless of enemies, and killed 26 bosses, or rather had 26 boss encounters, and all that just for a sensory deprivation chamber? I don't know. Well, if that ending didn't make much sense to you, you're forgiven. It's not really immediately apparent. I mean, the Emerald Herald tells us that it is our choice to do whatever. To either continue the cycle or refusing to starting it anew. Essentially, it's both of the ending of Dark Souls in one, where we get the chance to either link the fire and, so to speak, rekindle the first flame, and also to just go away, leave the final bonfire behind, and become the Dark Lord, which I suppose is what Nashandra wanted, while the other option is more of what the Emerald Herald wanted. It's kind of interesting, because in the first game we have Frompt telling us that we should go succeed the king, Gwyn in this case, or rather the ruler, because he's not a king, he's just a god, so to speak. In this game, the Emerald Herald fills that role. Meanwhile, there's another serpent called Kath, who tells us to just, kill Gwyn, but not succeed him, but leave and become the Dark Lord. This would be Nashandra's role here, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I don't really think that we should focus on finding more analogs to the first game, because this is probably a little far-fetched. But a little more about Nashandra. We're gonna see the weapons we made from her soul in the separate videos and the watches and defenders as well. But the thing is that Nashandra is basically a fragment of Manus, Father of the Abyss. So essentially she's the final boss from the DLC of the first game, only just a part of him. And she was, according to the description of her weapons, the smallest fragments and thus the first one to take shape. And I'm gonna spoil it, in the DLCs we may encounter more fragments of Manus. Probably, maybe. But this is something for us to be discovered soon. Anyway, this has been a game. I have enjoyed it a great deal. The DLC is still gonna come, but for now we finished the main game, hey? And the credits are pretty good. Point to just give some opinions and what the likes. I still don't enjoy Dark Souls 2 as much as Dark Souls 1. They're both great games though. But Dark Souls 1 was kind of a more complete experience. The gameplay is, admittedly, a little bit worse. Not as polished, at least it's still great. But everything else is just better. The atmosphere, the world as it's presented to us. I'm pretty big on gameplay, but if something works together so well, I kinda prefer that. And Dark Souls 1 did that, but Dark Souls 2 is an absolutely fantastic game. Not to sound pretentious or anything, but the first game I think is more akin to art, while the second is more of a game. But it's great, trust me. I liked it a great deal. And I still do. It's just that once I'm done with the DLC, I'm probably gonna take a break for a while before I play it again, because this is taxing, of course, this Let's Playing business, especially the way I do it, where I play through the game twice. Once a new game and once a new game plus, just to show off as many things as I can. But yeah, this isn't the end. But I do hope that you enjoyed watching this LP so far, and will sit through it with me until the end, when we finish the DLC, where I will also employ the help of some people from the thread for some of the co-op areas, because the game has those. The DLC rather. And then there's also this thing with a fight club, which is probably gonna happen at some point. But yes, this is about everything that I want to say, I think. So even though the LP is not over yet, thanks for sticking around. And I hope you'll accompany me through the DLC as well. See you then.
Bearer of the curse, I will always be at your side until hope has fully withered.